In this video, we're going to solve nonlinear equations simultaneously. So if you have a look at what I've got here, the first equation is a linear equation, and the second equation is quite clearly nonlinear. It's got some squares in there, so it's quadratic. Now, the idea behind this, we're going to use substitution for this. We're going to take the linear one, and we're probably going to have to rearrange it. We're going to either make it x equals or y equals, and then we're going to substitute it into the nonlinear equation. Now, there are three possible cases here. Either our two equations will have no solutions at all, so there will be no intersect. As you can see, I've used a quadratic on this graph to show. So this is the first possible scenario. There could be no solution. There is also a possibility that there's only one solution. The line only cuts on like a tangent on one point on the curve. Or there could be two solutions where the line goes through the quadratic twice. So let's have a look what we've got with this one. So looking back at the equation, I'm going to rearrange this equation here to give me x equals. So I'm going to get x equals y plus 2. Okay. Now, once that's been rearranged, I'm now going to substitute this into my nonlinear equation. All right, so I'm going to sub this into my equation 2. All right, so doing that, my equation 2, just so we don't have to scroll up, was 2x squared minus 3y squared equals 15. Okay, so I'm just going to sub that into that. So doing that gives me 2 bracket y plus 2 squared minus 3y squared equals 15. Now, I've got to expand this squared here. I've got a double bracket here, so I'm going to have to use FOIL to do that. I'm just going to allow myself a bit more room, moving over to the left. So doing that, just that double bracket gives me y squared plus 4y plus 4, don't forget you've got a perfect square there, minus the 3y squared that I'm bringing down from underneath equals 15. I can multiply this whole thing by 2 now, giving me 2y squared plus 8y plus 8 minus 3y squared I'm bringing down equals 15. Now I can simplify these terms together, giving me negative y squared plus 8y. Now I'm going to bring that 15 over to mix with the 8, so that's going to subtract 15, leaving with negative 7. Now that then leaves my equation equal to 0. When it's equal to 0, I can then factorize, and that's how I'm going to solve this quadratic. I'm not happy about solving it with, well, it's a negative, so I'm just going to multiply all of it by minus 1, or in other words, take it over the other side. I'm just going to multiply by minus 1. So all the signs change, and it's equal to 0. Then it's just a case of factorising, and obviously by now you should be fairly competent at factorising. So obviously it's got to be minus 7 and minus 1 to give me the positive 7 there, and minus 7 minus 1 makes the minus 8. Okay, now solving using the null factor law tells me that y is equal to y minus 7 equals 0, or y minus 1 equals 0. So therefore y equals 7 or y equals 1. So we found two clear solutions here. Don't forget we need to find those corresponding x values. So in order to do that, I'm going to substitute each y value into the first equation, because that just makes it simple. It was the linear equation. Okay, so let's sub y equals 7 in first. So when y equals 7, don't forget we had x equals 2 plus y. That was our original equation. So placing that in, x equals 2 plus 7, so therefore x equals 9. So when y equals 7, x equals 9. So my solution, is 9, 7. Let's look at the other case when y equals 1. When y equals 1, we've got x equals 2 plus y, which is x equals 2 plus 1, so x equals 3. So my second point is therefore 3, 1.